Let's
Oh,
react
God,
to
my
those.
Twitter's nuts.
Oh, goodness.
It could say anything.
Oh, okay.
Family and-
Yeah, this one. 20% of married dudes cheat. Where do you get that stat from? Since we're talking about stats.
I don't remember where I looked it up, but I know I looked it up before
Okay.
I posted this.
20% of men leave their wives when she becomes chronically. You know that study was retracted?
I know just from friends and family who work in hospital settings and who work in chronic care, that is something where they have to like sit the woman down when she's diagnosed and actually prepare them on what to do when their husband leaves them, because it happens so often.
Yeah, except the studies on that's anecdotal. All the studies that they've done on that, well, the one in particular that's often cited, that I believe you're citing there, it was retracted because they made multiple errors in how they coded the study.
All right, well then I'll have to look more into that. But speaking anecdotally from the people that I know that work in that type of care, it's incredibly common.
So you're saying in these institutions, these healthcare institutions, there's a policy where they sit down the wife, and if she has a spouse or whatever, they tell her, by the way, there's a risk your husband's going to leave you. So there's a gendered policy on this?
There's a support staff member that will come in and we'll talk to
Only
them
for
about.
the women, though.
There's support staff that comes in for both, but one of the talking points specifically for the women is to usher them through that point of
don't
change.
you think that's sexist?
But we don't see it happen with men.
Yes,
we don't.
do.
We don't see that happen like we do.
Yeah.
It's
It's never happened in the history of humanity.
Of course
a woman
it has.
divorced her
Of course it has.
husband who has cancer.
But I'm saying the frequency is not
What
there.
evidence do you have for the claim?
Just, again, I'm only going off of the study that apparently was retracted. I haven't seen that. And then anecdotal evidence.
I mean, it seems...
I know women who have gotten chronically ill and then their partner has left them. I don't know of any man that has gotten chronically ill and then has been left. They usually get married, in my experience.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that happens both ways.
Of course, in some regard, but I think it's skewed one way over the other.
Well, it seems like women overwhelmingly end relationships. So this idea that men are these evil, devilish dogs who...
I didn't say that.
That seems to be the implication. Do you
No,
think
I was responding to something in that tweet.
Uh-huh.
And I'm not going to quote exactly what it was, but I remember somebody saying, like, women are the ones that break up families or something, or women are always the ones that, like, destroy families. And so that's why I quoted the fact that 94% of family annihilators are men, which is true, and then the other stats in there. I love men. I genuinely do, and I'm not saying that they're evil, but I'm saying they're not innocent either.
Do we have the study? I think it's pulled up in one of the tabs. Do you have it? Make it bigger, please. Widely reported study suggesting divorce is more likely when wives fall ill gets axed, and this is from Retraction Watch, is invalid thanks to a short string of mistaken coding that negates the original conclusions published in the March issue of the Journal of Health and Social Behavior. So anyways, I mean...
So then what was the updated conclusion?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
But...
So we don't have the updated stat.
Could be 19%.
Yeah, it could be. It could be 10. It could be 5. But regardless.
I suppose. And then pull the tweet back up, though. Oh, hold on. We have a TTS coming through. Or it's not a TTS because it's broken. I just have to read it. Thanks to feminism, women are more masculine than ever, broadly speaking. Emotions that aren't anger are usually considered feminine. To the panel, what does modern masculinity mean to you?
Ooh,
yeah, we can just move on to that. Go ahead, starting chair one.
Wait, what was the question again? Broadly,
What does modern masculinity mean to you?
What does it mean to me? I don't know. Someone that is very in tune with their natural instincts and thinks that's how men are supposed to live, like, and be. And I'm not saying like men in the past 50 years, like men, their actual nature before this whole surface level stuff, like what we're actually here for, before like the jobs and like the actual purpose of men. That would be someone that is like actually masculine for me.
Or just going through each?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what do you think?
I think many things can be masculine. I think it doesn't have to just be your like, you know, like the biology of like men need to provide and men need to hunt or whatever it was, or like I think masculine men could stay home with kids personally, but I think it's kind of just, I don't think it's that cut and dry.
I think I think modern masculinity is the same as archetypal masculinity, where it's like the strength is seen as more masculine, but then also I think when you look at things more analytically instead of on the emotional side, I think that's considered masculine. I think it still is. Protection, which again is like strength. Yeah, I don't think the definition's changed. I think maybe people in our society exhibit them in different degrees, but I don't think it's changed.
Mm-hmm. I would say that I watched a brilliant movie the other night about Desmond Doss. Has anybody heard of him before? Okay. Basically, he saved like 75 people during the World War II, I believe. And I think he's a great example of masculinity in general, having high integrity, high emotional intelligence, courage, unapologetic about himself and his values, and is sworn to a higher purpose than himself.
Yeah, I really resonate with what both the previous ladies said, because I think masculinity in its definition hasn't really changed over time. And I also think, of course, there's the differentiation between toxic masculinity versus healthy. And so the rigid definition being that men need to be providers or to be physically strong or stoic, I don't think that is beneficial, and that doesn't behoove relationships. So I think a healthier version of masculinity could be a man who has the desire to take care of his loved ones, but is still in touch with his emotions and is able to be mature and emotionally intelligent and in tune with his soft side, because I think all human beings, we have a mix of masculine and feminine polarities. And so a healthy man to me is someone who is not 100% strictly masculine, but is comfortable with adopting qualities and facets of sort of both archetypes.
So what do you think draws the line between healthy masculinity and toxic masculinity?
Yeah, I think it's not for me to decide, because I think that can be arbitrary, but when I see toxic masculine discourse or diatribe on the internet, oftentimes it's either attacking certain types of people or attacking certain behaviors, or overall being more inflammatory or just having a very strict agenda in mind, because I think flexibility and fluidity is very important in relationships and in human dynamics. So for me, the big differentiator is just how rigid are you in your thinking, and how strictly are you trying to enforce your beliefs on other people? Because I believe that the healthier mindset that you have, typically the more accepting you are just to hear other people out and to look at different mindsets that are different from your own.